Today I'm joined by Mr. Ian Hastie, who was the Managing Director of Stronach, the printing and stationery company in Eccles, for many years. Now, Mr. Hastie, or Ian as I shall call you.
Thank you.
You've got some very interesting stories to tell us about your life in terms of the business in Eccles and the patrons of your company.
That is true. The one I think we're concentrating on today is going to be Dr. Kroch and the Kroch Chemical Company, which was probably one of the first companies that I knew as a boy that came to the firm as a customer. I remember one night, after the staff had gone, I'd gone down to the works, my father was there, just the two of us in the building. I don't know what we were doing. Suddenly we noticed there were three of us, there was a third person wandering around somewhere, and this turned out to be a German-speaking gentleman called Kroch, and he was running a business in the Eccles area but needed some printed invoices and letterheads. So he was asking us whether we'd produce them. No problem, that's what we're in business to do. What we didn't know at the time was the quantities he wanted were about the number we throw away in proofing. He hardly wanted any, but the ones he wanted tomorrow. And both were slight problems. We were used to runs of thousands and hundreds of thousands. He just wanted 100. And it had to be numbered from 1001 up, so it didn't look like it was his first. And
what year was this?
Well, I was still at school, so it'd be in probably the late 50s. No, that's wrong. Because it would be in the 50s, but not the late, more the mid-50s. Because the late 50s I'd gone into the Navy. Anyway, he asked, could he have, and Dad, always thinking there's an order around the corner, was saying yes, as one does, if one is a salesman. And he must have been better than I thought, because we got the order, 100 letterheads and 100 invoices. And then we got the instruction that he'd call tomorrow lunchtime and collect them, which was somewhat of a shock. Anyway, Dad, having made the promise, worked all night and produced them. And although in itself it's a bit of a loss, in the overall picture of things, it was a wonderful move he made then, because Dr. Kroch from there on became our best customer, good payers, volume orderers. As their volumes increased, so they increased to us. And when the firm got really big, Kroch got really big, and other people were deciding these things, Dr. Kroch always made sure the Stronachs were at the top of the list.
So basically he was repaying your favour back by his favour.
Something my father had seen, and I thought it was a total waste of time at the time. I didn't see the...
Your father was a better businessman than you.
He was then, that's for sure. Yes, he was. He knew a darn sight more about what that little gesture would do, or could do. And it paid off more than I would ever have imagined, because the work we got from Kroch was incredible. When we expanded into stationery, we became their main stationery suppliers. When we moved into office furniture, we became their main furniture suppliers. So we had one heck of a company.
It was one hell of a meeting, wasn't it, with him?
All for 100 letterheads.
Yeah.
Yes.
How many people did Kroch employ, do you know, roughly? Because I know one of the
Several
largest
hundred.
employees, wasn't he, in Eccles at the time?
Must have been a major employee. Several hundred. I wouldn't like to know.
Yeah.
Well, I would, but I wouldn't like to guess. He was very well liked by the people of Eccles. His workforce, I think 90% of it came from Eccles. He had a couple of colleagues from Germany. There was a Dr. Wolf he brought over from Germany. He was a brilliant, I don't know, chemical engineer, maybe whatever you call him. But overall, his general workforce all came from Eccles. And in return, he became, well, he donated all sorts of things to the local community. Meals on Wheels got a new van, for example. Quietly, Dr. Kroch had sent it.
I know that he used to provide for the children's matinees on a Saturday, for the Christmas edition. He used to supply all the presents for the children of Eccles.
He did that, yes.
I thought it was a really nice gesture of the chap.
He did a lot of things.
There was also the foundation him and his wife set, wasn't it? Heinz and Anna.
Heinz and Anna, and I don't know whether Carol got in, the daughter, but Heinz and Anna Kroch Foundation was set up, if I recall, to provide for the really poor, the people who were having difficulty earning a living of any sort, and when all things seemed just too much, you went there, they were able to help out. But none of this was made public. This was all done very quietly, unlike the stars of today who all want to see that they've been to Tanganyika or somewhere. Dr. Kroch did everything very, very quietly. In fact, knowing you were coming, I thought, I must get a picture of him. I can't find a picture of him anywhere. No? Nowhere.
Sure there'll be some in the archives we could find.
I'm sure there must be, but there's nothing on the internet. I've been through the internet with a fine-tooth comb. You'll get reference to him and Anna, but no picture.
I know that he came from Germany in 1937. Would that be he was a refugee from Hitler with him being Jewish?
He was a refugee knowing what was about to happen. And I don't know what brought him to this neck of the woods, but whatever it was, he settled here, he and Anna, and he got a lot of help from a lot of people, and he showed that in the name of the company that he set up, because the company was called Lancro. A lot of people don't know. Lan stands for Lancashire, and Crow stands for Kroch. So he called himself the Lancashire Kroch. And he was very proud to be a Lancastrian, and apart from showing it in many ways through the business and through his donations, he was just a thoughtful man. I remember my wife ringing me up one day saying she'd just received a huge bunch of flowers. I think that was when we were married, and he sent this huge bunch of flowers. And then when Belinda, our first daughter came, he and Anna sent a huge or a beautiful selection of children's wear. Personal delivery from Kendall's.
He was a complete gentleman, doesn't he? It sounds too good to be true.
He was a lovely man. He really was a lovely man. I say was. I don't know. I presume he is dead now.
I honestly don't know, but I should imagine he was.
I don't know.
He came over in 1937, that was 70 years ago.
Well, I was born in 36, so hang on. But he didn't come over born. He came over. I thought him an old man then. He obviously wouldn't be, but you know, schoolboy or something, anyone over 40 is an old man.